welcome to Poker Headlines. We had a really special guest on this week's episode. We had CeeGee, Christopher George. And if you don't know who that is, that's because you don't play high stakes poker or mixed games tournaments, because he's known in both of those fields. I had a lot of fun learning about CeeGee, and we talked a lot about his personal journey at the beginning of the episode. So make sure you go to Twitch to watch that /HustlerHoney and watch the video on demand. This week, the major story, it kind of broke 2 weeks ago, was about a player going to 2+2 and claiming that GG confiscated all of his winnings. So to be able to understand the story of the week, you have to understand what a poker skin is. If I was to start a poker site, I have two ways that I could go about doing it. I could either build my own software, and that's what Run It Once has done. Or you can join a network of pre-existing software and player pools and just be in charge of the marketing. And that's what a skin is. But the next thing we need to understand is what bum hunting and predatory behavior is. But bum hunting is defined as the act of deliberately targeting one subset of usually weaker players while avoiding giving action to another subset of usually stronger players.
So bum hunting is more referring to the fact that you're joining a game when there's a weaker player in it, only for the sole purpose to play with that weaker player. But you refuse to play any other kind of games that are tougher. Another idea of bum hunting is that the player generally only plays when that weaker player is playing.
Distinguish between game selection and bum hunting.
It's very similar. Good games, quote unquote, good game selection is playing with players that you're comfortably beating in the game. Is, let's say you have an option of playing in two different games. You see Bob there. There's nothing wrong with joining that game as long as you continue to play, even if Bob leaves and then someone else comes and replaces him. But that like blatant bum hunting, it is a little bit of a predatory mindset, and it is detrimental to the game because those guys are trying to take that money from that player as much as possible.
Predatory behavior is defined as a user activity forced primarily on engaging in unethical advantages and tactics to exploit other players in order to gain unfair profit. These include, but are not limited to, bum hunting, collusion, use of artificial intelligence, rat-holing, grimming, hit and running.
Wait, it said grimming?
Yeah, do you know what that is?
Use that term? Yeah, so grimming is actually a childhood friend of mine. They named grimming after him.
What did he do?
Because let's say, okay, so the extreme version of it is he would sit down, he would go all in, the person would fold their big blind, usually, and then he would get up and leave. He would steal people's big blinds this way over and over and over again as the button. He would do it repeatedly to people that came over. Like he would do it within 20 or 30 times a day, right? But if you're playing 200, 400, that's a lot of money.
but he got that famous that he has a term named after him.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but rat holing is just winning a certain amount, leaving the table, and then coming back with a different amount.
Yeah.
Usually lesser, obviously.
Okay, so now that we've covered those, we can kind of go into Tobias Duthweiler. Anyone know if I'm pronouncing that one right? So in 2016, high-stakes German pro Tobias Duthweiler played a few sessions on Natural 8, which is a skin of GG Poker. He won around $3,500 and then, according to him, without warning, was asked to not play anymore. In 2019, he played on Best Poker, which is another skin of GG. He lost $85,000. In 2020, he then played on Bet King, which again is a skin of GG Network, and he lost again. Then the skins fused to GG Poker, and he was asked to verify his identity, which he did successfully. Then he proceeded to spin $50,000 into $180,000. Then in May of 2020, GG changed from screen names to real names for high-stakes players. This forced the Duthweiler to verify his identity again. When he did that, GG realized that he was a banned player and confiscated his balance, which was $160,000. So what do you guys think of this?
The part of the story for me that's a little bit confusing is if you are a company like GG, where is the security in place where you're doing the KYC every time a person opens the account? So how was this not caught sooner? You know, if this individual is banned, how was he then allowed to open different accounts on different skins if he was banned?
I do think that he probably knew that it was a skin, because I've watched people play on Natural 8 and GG Poker, and it's the same animations and it's the same avatars. So I mean, my take on most of this is initially he was banned for bum hunting, and then he kind of circumvented getting banned on GG by playing on another skin. The fact that he was allowed to play on another skin, I don't think that was clarified by GG. Like, was he allowed to play on another skin? I don't think we know. 2, why was he allowed to play on GG Poker? And is it all on him for doing it? Clearly a miscommunication or a fault in their security that he was allowed to get money on not being verified. I guess the next topic is, you know, is it right for these sites to ban people who are bum hunting? And I think it's a very slippery slope, because bum hunting has a few different variants. It's a little gray. And if they're going to be a case-by-case basis, they have a lot of power that is unchecked.
But is it in the site's rights to do it?
Oh yeah, I think it's within their quote-unquote right to do whatever they want. It is their site. I think as a player, I'm not going to ever play on GG Poker.
So Bryn Kenny, who's been a representative for GG Poker for a long time, he came out and said, honestly, I think it should be super standard in any gaming business that people can get banned for any reason that they see fit, as long as money is paid. Guys just bum hunt cash and just waiting for VIPs are not good for any site or for the ecology of the game.
Bryn is coming from a place of being an ambassador for the site. The tone that kind of comes off of this tweet is that he feels like GG Poker is a business and they can do whatever they want. And that I disagree with.
We're going to jump to the tweet of the week. There's a lot of good tweets this week, you guys. We gave it to Pads Poker because he said, predictions for the rest of 2020. Negreanu makes Doug do the heads-up challenge on GG. Doug wins 180k. Doug tries to withdraw. GG bans him for bum hunting and confiscates the 180k. Okay, let's transition to the Polk DNEGS match. So,
which is kind of exciting because they're both, you know, big staples in the poker community. You know, they both have huge followings. They've been around for a while, and it'll definitely create a hype around poker again. And when it happens, it'll be a big viewing, and it'll be good for our community.
How much does it matter that he hasn't been playing for a few years?
Things change very fast. Doug historically has not used solvers, and his method of studying has been a bit more exploitative and playing different players. If Doug doesn't use solvers for this upcoming match, he's not going to be a significant favorite against Daniel.
Okay, so what do you think about Doug's current study strategy? He's basically challenging anyone and anyone.
Honestly, I think it's kind of a waste of time, but he should be working on his strategy. Initially, when Galfond offered this challenge, my main game was Heads Up PLO, and I thought about accepting this challenge. I don't know if the amount of hands they play is
so he
is
tweeted
listed
out
yet.
that we plan to play 35,000 hands of 100, 200
gosh,
PL.
yeah. I think a lot of people might not know that Chance is a PLO player. I think Chance probably regrets playing so far after all of the initial players, because the person with the biggest edge was definitely Venny Vidi. now that Chance is playing him after he's kind of raring and ready to go, it sucks for him.
Structure. So we talked about before that their PLO was uncapped. So it was 3% uncapped. So they changed their Omahas from 3% uncapped to 5% capped with 3 like after about 3 BBs, like capped at 3 BBs. So I just asked CeeGee, and he's like, he still thinks specifically in PLO that a capped game is better at 5%. And the other change that we have to GG is the SnapCam. And Tony Dunst put a great tweet out that you found. Online poker players, we'd like reliable servers, reduced re-entry, and better structured deep online poker sites. Maybe. Until then, how about dick pics?
Yeah, so actually when they announced this, I also was a little bit negative about it. Like, oh, do I really need like 5 videos like telling me off after I play a hand badly or something? And then I think we have a tweet from Vanessa.
Yeah, so Vanessa's tweet says, honestly, I was really scared with GG Poker announced the SnapCam feature, but gotta say, so far I've seen about a dozen and 100% of them have been hilarious and not at all terrifying in the way I'd imagine. But on Friday, the United States District Court in Nevada granted Mike POSTLE's motion to be dismissed against Marley. She filed a suit against POSTLE seeking $250,000 in punitive damages, similar to the lawsuit in California that was dismissed. And it was dismissed due to lack of personal jurisdiction. Let's move on to flags. I laughed because I already saw this flag.
Yes, exactly. So I'm actually here live. So all I can say is on the ground, I've been trying really hard, you guys. I've been asking like all the floor men, all the staff, all the dealers, all the players, like, guys, what's happening with World Series of Poker Europe? And let me just tell you, it's like tight-lipped here. No one's saying a
Because
word.
they don't know?
And
or do you think they know?
I'm not sure. Now, the one update that came is that Kings did announce that they're having an Oktoberfest series in September. So this is newly added to the calendar. And this Oktoberfest series then ends on October 15th. So basically, this is the United Kingdom. So we announced before that they were supposed to open the casinos. Then about 10 hours before the casinos were supposed to open on August 1st, then basically it was announced, no, they can't open August 1st, let's push it to August 15th. So the Hippodrome, you guys should know, they used to host the Poker Stars EPT, and they did open and they were running 7-handed games.
USA!
So the Venetian did announce that September schedule, and a couple days ago now the structures for the September series have been released, so it's definitely a go. Also with a $400,000 guarantee.
Okay, so yeah, the next flag is something that I kind of hinted at, that we lost Harrah's permanently closed, which my reaction was, Harrah's has a poker room? But a lot of people said it was their favorite place to play.
Yes, they do have a poker room. They had like the nightly tournaments with small guarantees that attracted a lot of players, and also cash games. So, but now it's closed, so it's sad to see, and now slot machines have taken over where the poker room once was.
Bye.
Yeah. Thanks for
Bye,
having me.
CeeGee.
Catch you guys later.
Twitch chat made me do it!